Most people speak just to be heard, but the top 1% speak to be remembered. The way you speak can change your life. It can open doors, build confidence, attract respect, and create success that others can only dream of. When you speak like the top 1%, people listen. They trust you, they follow you, and they remember your words long after you stop talking. Today, I want to teach you how to speak like that. Not just with words, but with presence, confidence, and power. Speaking like the top 1% doesn't mean using big vocabulary or difficult grammar. It means mastering the energy behind your words. It means controlling your tone, your rhythm, your body language, and your silence. When you learn this skill, people stop scrolling when you talk. They stop interrupting, and they start paying attention. Because they feel something in your voice. Power, clarity, and calm. Think about the most powerful speakers you've heard. Maybe Martin Luther King, Steve Jobs, Barack Obama, or any great leader. What makes them special is not how many words they use. It's how they make you feel. Their words move people, inspire people, and sometimes even change the world. That's what speaking like the top 1% is all about. Having impact. Let's start with the truth. Most people speak carelessly. They talk too fast. They fill their speech with you know, and like. They rush their words without meaning. They speak to fill silence, not to create value. But the top 1% speak differently. Every word they use has purpose. They pause when they need to. They emphasize the right words. They speak slowly enough to be understood, but firmly enough to show confidence. You never hear them begging for attention. They command it. If you want to speak like the top 1%, you first have to slow down. Stop trying to speak faster to sound smart. Fast talkers sound nervous. Calm speakers sound confident. When you slow down, people start believing that what you're saying matters. They feel your words. Silence becomes your tool. The space between your words makes them stronger. The best speakers know how to use silence better than most people use words. Next, you need clarity. The top 1% don't speak in long, complicated sentences. They speak simply, directly, and confidently. When you talk, your goal is not to impress people. It's to connect with them. The top 1% understand this deeply. They don't speak to show how smart they are. They speak to make others understand, to move hearts, to inspire action. So before you speak, always ask yourself, what do I want this person to feel, to understand, or to do after hearing me? That one question changes everything. The second thing that separates the top 1% is emotion. Their words have life. When they speak, they're not just giving information. They're transferring energy. If you speak with passion, people feel your passion. If you speak with fear, people feel your fear. Your voice carries your energy. When your energy is strong and focused, people listen differently. You can say the simplest sentence, but if you say it with belief, it becomes powerful. The top 1% know this. They don't hide behind emotion. They use it. They raise their voice when it's needed. They lower it when it's powerful. And they know when to pause and let their words sink in. The third secret is confidence. The top 1% don't beg for approval. They don't speak with doubt in their tone. When they speak, they believe their message. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It means inner calm, knowing your worth, knowing that your voice has value. You can be soft-spoken and still be confident. Confidence is not volume, it's certainty. It's the energy that says, I know what I'm saying matters. When you speak with that energy, people can feel it immediately. You could be talking about business or family or your dreams. It doesn't matter. If your tone says, I believe this, people will listen. Now, let's talk about tone and body language. The top 1% don't just use words. They use their entire presence. When they walk into a room, you feel it before they speak. Their shoulders are straight, their eyes focused, their movements calm. They don't fidget, they don't look down, and they don't try to hide. They stand tall, not out of pride, but out of confidence. Their voice is clear, their tone controlled, their eye contact steady. When you look someone in the eyes and speak with calm confidence, your words hit deeper. Practice your tone. The top 1% don't speak in one flat tone. They use variation. They know when to sound soft, when to sound firm, when to pause. Your tone is like music. It guides people's emotions. A boring, flat voice loses attention quickly, but a dynamic voice keeps people listening. When you tell a story, bring life to it. When you share an idea, give it energy. Your tone can turn normal words into magic. Speaking like the top 1% is also about understanding people. You can't connect deeply if you don't listen. Great speakers are great listeners. They observe before they speak. They notice how people react, what they need, what they fear, and what they desire. When you understand your audience, your words become targeted, like arrows that hit the heart. The top 1% know how to read the room. They can feel the energy and adjust their words, tone, and timing to match it. That's emotional intelligence, and it's one of the most powerful communication skills in the world. Another quality of top communicators is precision. They don't waste words. They don't speak to fill time. They speak to fill minds. Every sentence moves toward a purpose. If a word doesn't add value, they remove it. When you speak like this, you sound sharp, intelligent, and powerful. People's time is precious. The top 1% respect that. They know that fewer, stronger words create more impact than long, empty ones. Storytelling is another weapon of the top 1%. Humans don't remember facts. They remember stories. The best speakers use stories to make their points unforgettable. They tell real examples, emotional moments, or personal experiences. Stories make your message alive. They create pictures in people's minds. When you tell a story, you build connection and trust. Don't just tell what happened. Tell how it felt, what it taught you, and what it means. That's how great communicators speak. They don't teach lessons. They make you feel them. One of the most powerful parts of speaking like the top 1% is authenticity. The best speakers don't pretend. They don't wear a fake smile or use fake confidence. They are real. They speak from the heart, not from ego. When you're authentic, people can feel it instantly. Your tone, your eyes, your energy, they all tell the truth. If you believe what you say, if you care about your message, it will reach people naturally. You don't need to act. You just need to be honest. Now, let's talk about fear. The fear of speaking. The fear of being judged. This fear kills more dreams than failure ever could. The top 1% feel fear too, but they speak anyway. They use the energy of fear as fuel. They know that courage is not the absence of fear. It's speaking despite fear. Every time you speak up when you're scared, you grow. You become stronger, clearer, and more confident. The world doesn't reward silence. It rewards expression. So never let fear stop you from sharing your thoughts. There's another difference between average speakers and the top 1%. Average speakers speak to be liked. The top 1% speak to deliver truth. They don't twist their message to please everyone. They speak what they believe. And because of that, their words have power. People may not always agree, but they always respect honesty. When you speak your truth calmly and clearly, you stand out. People trust those who stand firm. Energy is contagious. When you speak with positive, focused energy, people feel it. The top 1% walk into a room and raise the energy, not drain it. Their words motivate, not complain. Their tone lifts others, not pulls them down. Every time you speak, you're either giving energy or taking it. The top 1% give. That's why people remember them. They leave you feeling better, stronger, and more inspired. To speak like the top 1%, you must also learn control. Control of words, control of emotions, control of reactions. Anyone can talk when things are easy. But real power shows when you speak calmly under pressure. The person who stays composed when everyone else is angry or nervous becomes the leader. The more emotional control you have, the more people trust your voice. Calmness is power. Practice speaking daily. You can't master communication by reading about it. You have to do it. Record yourself, listen to your tone, practice pauses. Speak to the mirror, talk to people, tell stories. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And remember, your goal is not perfection, it's progress. Every time you speak better than before, you're growing into the top 1%. The top 1% are not born with this skill. They built it. They practiced for years. They failed, they stuttered, they got nervous, but they kept going. You can do the same. Every great speaker started as a bad speaker. Don't wait for the right moment to start. The right moment is now. Start speaking better today. In small conversations, in calls, in meetings, with friends. Every word you speak is practice for greatness. One more secret. Words shape reality. The top 1% use language to create their world. They don't say, "I can't." They say, "I will figure it out." They don't say, "It's too hard." They say, "It's a challenge." Their words build strength, not weakness. The way you speak to others and to yourself defines who you become. If you constantly speak with doubt, you'll live in doubt. If you speak with belief,